everyone, it's me Khushal Khan, and today we're going to design the portal frame structure in the Tekla structures. So before going ahead, I'll show you the dimensions for we have. We're going to design this kind of portal frame with the steel. On the x-axis we have 2 times 8 meter distance. On the y-axis we have 6 meters distance. On the z-axis we have from 0 to 5 meters and from 5 to 6 meter. That's our the height, and there is no underground, so it starts from 0 level. So plus 0.0, then plus 5 to 5 meter, and then 6 meter. So let's begin our uh, model, portal frame model. First of all, we will just modify the grid. Select the grid like 2 times, click on it, okay. And if you can't select, so turn on this option from here. You can see this is the grid, so make sure that you have click on it and it's active, and then double click on your grid. Okay, you will get this. So and the x-axis we were having 2 times 8 meter, so we will switch start from 0 and then 8 meters, like 8 meter or 8,000 millimeter 2 times, or yeah. And then the y-axis we have 6 meters, which start from 0, then space, then 6,000 millimeter. On the z-axis we have 0 and then space, then we have 5,000 millimeter and then 6,000 millimeter. And here we have on the x-axis we have 3 values. So on the x-axis we're gonna have 3 grids, okay. And these are the labelings for our coordinates. And on the y-axis we have 2, so we need 2 grid lines here. And for the z we have 3, so here we will put, we need 3 elevation grids. So here we start from the 0 meter, and then space plus the first one was 5 meter, and then plus you can write 5,000 or 5.0. So the is the elevation, we use the plus sign with it, and the Tekla will understand it, so it's totally fine. And yeah, that's all. And then just click on the modify. Our structure is modify, close the box, and then click here, and yeah, and fit work entire area, so your model is completely fixed. And then control P, you will come to the plane view. Yeah, this is what we did. And now we we have a 3D views, but sometimes we want to check our model on the grid 1 level, or the grid 2. Like I am standing there and I want to check how it looks from this side or from the other side, from the top or front. So we have a different like elevations and the parameters on the x-axis and the y-axis. So all the values we put here on this a coordinate system. We want to create a view on these x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis, because it will be easier for us later when we will creating our model, so we can switch the views between these grid lines. So how to create a view here? So it's simple. Come here to the view and then click on the new view, and then you see along view along grid line. So we will create our views along the grid line, so later we can switch according to the grid and we can see what we doing. So just click on it and then say create, and you see all the like grid 1, grid 2, like we can grow, we can switch to the view which is on the grid 1, grid 2, 3, A, B, and all plane view in the according to the elevations. So for now we need just grid A, so just put it here and then okay, and then okay again. So this is what we wanted to do. And yeah, and for now we will just we are in the grid A, because, and now we have to select press Ctrl plus P, we come into the plane view. And we will create our models from the steel. Go to the steel and then select the columns, okay, and put it here. Yeah, that's all. And then select it 2 times. First of all, we'll change its color from to orange, and then you see here it's 0 level is ends here, so it's down, it's in the minus. We don't need underground level, so we will subtract this by making the ground level which is 0. It will be done, and then modify, you can see. and we want our column height till 5 meters. So we will reduce this to 5,000 and then modify its reduce. Okay, and then the simple, we need one beam here. So click on the beam, select this in the middle of the this, and then click here. So this is how we created beam. Click on it. Sorry, first select and then 2 times click. Oh shit. uh, yeah, we will change our beam color to yellow in this case, just for the rafter. Okay, and that's all. Middle, top, and yeah, that's all. It should be behind here and for the rafter, but here for the column, there we will do few settings. It should be middle, front, middle, that's totally fine. And this is front, so we should change it to the top. Front is also fine, but when we change to the top, you can see here now this, when you modify this, the structure, the column changes its shape. And in this direction, you see, let me make the colors darker, like this, so yeah, when I select, if I change to the front, it will change its and like its position. So we want this in the mid, in the top, which gives us a maximum moment of inertia, which is good for our frame. This is what we did. And now we want to copy the same one with the control P in the right position. Press escape. Okay, and then select all, copy special, and we want to mirror it. Okay, so mirror, and then we need to specify the distance. So this, at this center line, this will be our center line, according to which we will copy and mirror and rotate. So first point, second point, and we will put the angle 90. Okay, and then copy, it's copied. So this is what we did. The next thing we want to do is we will put our connection for this joint and for this joint and for here. So how to do that? Click here, come to, and right here, hunch. For the joints for the rafter and the column, we need Eaves hunch, which number is 102. Select it and click on the column and in the raft secondary part. So, and you will see here after loading that the connection will be created here. Okay, and then the second connection we want here, and is created also here. And then the apex hunch we need for here between two rafters, it's also created. So this is what we need in this part. And yeah, you can change the color. We will shift +4 in the solid color. We need this interrupt, and we come back here. So this is what we did in this part. And now we will create, we will go with the control tab to the 3D view and control P in this one. And yeah, and we control P, we will come to the 3D view, and now we will copy this the same to the other place. Okay, we can do this later as well, after we put our like come to the grid A. First we'll put our base plate for this one, then we'll copy. It's more better. So for the base plate, you can write here the base plate, or you can write this number, which is 1042 base plate. Where you want to put your base plate for the column, so select the column, and then where you want to put the position. So we are done here with this. And yeah, so now we want to modify this. Click on this 2 times, and you see it's yellow. It's yellow mean it needs modification. Of course it needs modification. When we will modify, it will turn into the green. And because with the proper settings, you see it's yellow now, later it will be green. I will show you that. Okay, so here the distance between them, it should be 0, and thickness should be 12. This should be 350, and this should be height should be 500. And then the parameters, yeah, and we'll go to the anchors. First of all, the road profile, it should be the diameter of the for the anchor we need for the fixation. So we'll put the diameter of the anchor, which is 20. And we want the base plate with the anchors, that's why we put the diameter here. And this is the distance between from the top of the anchor till the base, which we need should be 300. Okay, don't forget this. And we want to create the nuts for our anchor on the top, and so we want this yes, and both of them we will create this. Yeah, and one more thing, we will go to the balls. We need balls like on baselet on one side. You see here the balls, how many balls we need. We say that 3 balls on one side, 3 balls on the other side, so it's automatically understood. So do this and then click modify. You see it's yellow now. When we modify, it will turn to green. Modify, apply, okay, and now you see it's green, so it's totally fine. So if it's green, it means it's correct. If it's yellow, it needs modification. If it's um, yellow or red, it means it's totally wrong. One thing we forget, you know, these anchor, these are straight, but we want in the L shape for more better fixation. So click one more, double click, and we will change this to the anchors, and we will select here, you know, in the L shape we need this, yeah, and then modify, apply, and you see in this L shape we need this, which, yeah, so we did this, and we will apply the same base plate with the same setting. It's saved, our settings are saved. Click the main part and then the center, and is done. Aha. Yeah, this is what we did. And now we will switch with the control tab to the 3D mode, and we will copy the same to the other side. And one more thing, you know, here we put the connection here, okay, but our top connection here doesn't has a plate, and we want a plate for this path. So double click on this and go to the parameters, and here we will select this option and modify, apply, okay, and you see we get the plate here on the top. And do the same for the other path. And yeah, let me click 2 times, parameters, and here select the plate for this, for the top plate on the both side, and okay, and we got it. Okay, and now we'll copy the same one to the other side. So select everything, copy, and this place to here, and it's done. So this is what we did. And now we will go to the grid A, you can see here, and now we are here. So this is what we did for the encode and everything. And now we created the board and everything. So now we will press Control I with the views, and we need the grid 1 view here. We want to go, I will show you why we need this, you know, like I want to see my views from, you know, like yeah, I will go to the 3D view, is more better. You know, this is our grid 1. Now I want to stand here, you know, from this side, you know, like this. Okay, so I need the grid view along the grid 1, so I can see my view like this. And then we will make a beam here. I will zoom, so then I will make a beam here and one here, and then we will do the bracing. I can do even now in the 3D, but for more better, like, and for more ease, like to do the modeling in easy way, so it's better if you switch to the view along the grid 1, so you can do the bracing here. So now Control I, and we will go to the grid 1, okay, and then control, you see now we are at the 1 this side, and Control P, we come here. It's the same view, but it's more better in this way to do our modifications and modeling, the pressing. So first of all, double click anywhere and then go to the, and visibility we will decrease this to 500 for, so this window will fix together. And we need this for our they will fix together, like fit into the area, the grid and the box, so it's better for us. Okay, so visibility is important here. And now we will do the modeling, and for our first of all, we'll create our beam for this reason, and the beam is easy. So let's go to the beam, and how we'll create a beam. So steel and beam here, okay, beam, and you know here the intersection of this grid with the center line of the column. So click this part, okay, to the other path we did, yeah, this is our beam. And to distinguish between the colors, so change it to the green one, and that's important. And now we want to put our profile for which should be circular hollow section 150 diameter with the thickness of 8. So this should be our beam profile and then modify, and we are done. And the next thing we want to do here is first we will go to the 3D view and we will the control A and we will check that is it correct or not. So yeah, how to do that, you see here. Yeah, it's correct, but a bit it has a clash with the top plate, and we're gonna modify this to, because we need to avoid this clash. And yeah, and we will do this. And so how we gonna do this? Select your beam, or sorry, no, select your beam and go here, move special linear. And in which direction we gonna wanna move our plate? In the Z direction. So uncheck all of them and just put here, and we going -100 down. So move. Now is, the clash is divided and it's perfect for us. Okay, this is what we did. And now again to the grid A1, and yeah, we are here. And now we want to do bracing, so we will create one beam here. We will copy the same one and then we'll do the bracing. So select this one and copy linear, and from, see the center, this triangle, it means the center of the beam with the intersection of with the column center. Okay, so click this, and you see this another triangle, so which means it's the center of the column, and then click and then copy, our beam is created. And one more thing we want to do, double click anywhere, go to the display, go to the advanced. We need the center lines. It's more better for us when you want to select the center point of the beam with the intersection of the column, so this is better. Do this, and a few more settings here, the construction patterns and the values with the exact mark. Do this, cuttings and fittings, we need this later, I will tell you. And modify, apply, okay, modify, apply, okay. So this is what we did for now. And one more thing, we do the bracing from here and here, and we're gonna do this. So select the beam here with the same center point. You see this, these are the fittings actually. So the intersection, let me show you something. You see this is the center line. This is the like reference line we turn on, so this shows the center line of the beam, and we just do the same here with the column. So you see they intersect here, so we will, this should be our point for our frame, and yeah, from the center point, let me, from the intersection of this point, you see where it went, where it is. You should be really careful in this one. I can get this the center, but I want to be more specific here. Later we can do this move here too, but yeah, there are many ways, but you can select the center point here. Yeah, you see this one, yeah, it's here, it's not exactly centered. Later we will move to their center point, and if it's triangle like this, so it means it's the intersection of both of them. So select this, and yeah, and then you see this one, yeah, you see the center line of this bracing here is not on there, but we will do this. How to fix this? Click on this and select this point, and we can move it anywhere. Now the triangle here, yeah, so that's it in the exact direction. This is the center point. We will move a little bit more, yeah, to here. So you see here now, yeah, they both in the center. Okay, so now Control 4, come to our readout view and anywhere, and we want to modify the bracing length. We will just decrease the diameter 20 and modify. So we're done here with this. And one more thing, from middle, top, behind, middle, yeah. And one more thing, select your bracing, and the setting middle, top, and they should be middle, and then modify. So they are in the center now. From this center to this center, they're exactly in the center. You see here, because earlier the corner of the bracing system are here. Now it's from center to center. This is really important in modeling. Okay, and now we want to mirror the same one in the other direction. So select this, copy, mirror. yeah, and which point we will rotate according to this point, okay, and then copy. Sorry. No, there is a problem because the angle is, yeah, put the 0, clear everything. For more, I will just undo, yeah, um, the same from middle top, yeah. I don't want that anything is created again, so copy special mirror, yeah, the angle should be 0, this should be 0 for now, because, yeah, and where should our point, this point till, yeah, this should be our center of rotation where we want to move, and then copy similar to what the hell, wait, 0, and then copy, yeah, the angle should be 0, that's all, okay, and that's important. I can do one time more for you, um, okay, for more, like, if that you get it, okay, so select, copy, mirror our point of rotation, our line of center of rotation, and then copy is done, okay, so like this, what how you can do. So this was simple, but there is like clash in real, it's not like this. And also here, so how to avoid this, select your cable, and this should be in the right. If you can select left as well, so if you select right here, the other one should be right too. If you select left, so both should be in the left, okay, position, and now it's totally fine. So this is how we avoided this, and this is what we created our bracing system. And now we will switch into the 3D, okay, and we will check them there. You see here, so this is what we created. These lines are the cutting lines, we will talk about this later. And now we'll go again to display. We don't need this yeah, part center lines here, and weldings, there should be exact marks, yeah, and yeah, and that's all. Modify, this is what we did. And now we need the connections of the beam with the column and the cable with the column. So go here to the component section and write 20, which is the tube cassette from the beam with the column. So select our main part, column, and then the beam, and then the mouse wheel, the connection is created. And now we need a tensioner for the cable, the bracing cable with the column. So select this, our main part with the cable, and then mouse wheel. So this is how we created our bracing system with their connections. Yeah, and yeah, we will move forward for creating to modify this connection, like a better one we will make here. And then we will create our custom defined connection, which we, like, if I make a connection and I will take time and I don't want to repeat everything here or all the other joint, so we will create here and then we will make it a custom connection which will be defined in our Tekla, and then we can apply it anywhere without the waste of time. So we will, so before going ahead, I will tell something here in the band, um, in the Tekla, in real life, they are both overlapping, the cable and the beam, and we don't want this. And in real life, it's not like this. The cable is, we will make a connection here in which they both are, cable and the beam, they are connected to one plate, and we will do that. So not like this, like like we have one plate like this, okay, so here should be the beam and here should be the cable like this, okay, we will do this and we'll modify. So how to do this? First of all, yeah, I'll put my center here. This is my center line. First of all, I will move my cable, by um, some distance in the Z direction toward downward. So I will select my cable and move special and linear, and in the down direction I want to move, so how much I want to move, 2 by 200 millimeters. and I will do that, and then click move, so it is moved, you know. And I will do the same for the other one, but yeah, we will do that later. First we will move, and you see here now they are separate, and we will make them like a one. You know, here is one plate and there is another one, but we will remove this plate and this plate. We will make one plate for them. Okay, so how to do this? Now you can, if you click this, you select the whole plate, and but you know, because the select components option is on, so if you see here the other one, this is the select objects in the component, make this on. And you know, see there are, since there are two plates, you see this one and this one, we're going to modify this one because this one is attached to the beam. We can't modify. If you modify our beam, everything will be place more. So the better option is this, so that we should modify the smaller one, you know, smaller plate. And how to modify this? Select this first corner, and with control the other corner, and then right click and then move linear. Yeah, and we will move downward by 220 millimeters downward. And then yeah, before going ahead, I forgot something. You know, this is the cone um, for our disconnection with the beam. We need to if we do move it now, there will be a lot of errors for us. So click this one and then export components, so the cone will be disappeared. And now if you do any changing, it will not make our design bad or wrong, or so like this we can avoid many errors. Okay, so just do this, and by 220 millimeters and move down. Now you see we just, it came downward. So this is how we do this. Yeah, and this blue line, it's the welding, so no worries about this one. And now one more important thing, if you see, you see here cable, you know, this cable is not in the center. You see this remaining space, and this is a little bit outside, and you can see this clash, and we want to make it in the center, so our clash and also in the center. So it's quite easy how to do this. We will just move this to the other side and it will be fine. So it's quite easy. Select your the joint or the tensioner of your cable, and move special linear, and we want to move this in the x direction. So uncheck this, so select your x direction, but how, by how many distance, we don't know that. So click on the pick, and you know, here it's the center, this point, the center of your tensioner plate of the cable, and toward the center of this main plate, like the mother plate. Okay, and this distance is 10, minus 10. Okay, so uncheck the other two, so on just the x direction, and then move. And wait a second, why it's not move, I don't know. Wait a second again, toward the center. Yeah, and I hope it will move now. Maybe, you know, this cone for on tensioner, it's still on. This cone, I need to uh, explode this too. So explode, and now select this, and move linear, and yeah, you see it's smooth now, and it's in the center exactly, and that's totally fine for us. So this is what we wanted to do, and yeah, it's smooth, so that's totally good for us now. And now yeah, but I think we forgot something. Maybe let me check. um, we need to undo. Okay, we want to bring this cone back because we need few settings for our cable. And yeah, we need the distances for this, like in the uh, go to the fork and select here the part 2, and we need this setting, this is important for us. And we will put our thickness for our cable here, and this thickness should be 8. And the yeah, and the other one it should be because we have this kind of connections, we want to put like when we move these, so we need a space here, we should be 8, and this distance it should be 20, because the thickness of this plate is 20, and we should know this distance. And if you don't know, it's simple, it's quite easy, just click on double times, and then you can check here on the properties, and I already know it, so I put 20 here. This is how you can do this. Yeah, and then modify, apply, and okay. Okay, this is what we wanted to do. And now you can make it explode, and now select again linear, and pick the distances, or we already don't know it, but still for one more, like for the center point, till the center point is the 10 again, the same, and then move. So it's totally fine now, so yeah, so this is what we wanted to do. And now oh sorry, I deleted, I don't want to do that. And so you see, I will show you some other thing. um, Let me, yeah, this is what we did. Yeah, and one more thing you see here, our purpose was, this cable plate, you see, we made this big plate which the beam is connected to this, and the cable plate too. But this one extra which was before here with the cable plate to the column, we don't want this, and we want to delete. And if you delete now, you see here the joints, the bolt, you see this bolt. If we delete this cable plate now, the bolt will be disappeared. So we need to delete this, but first we need to do some settings for this bolt, so these bolts are not gonna delete. And how we gonna do this? So select your bolts and go to the bolt parts, select your main plate. So you see this one, because the bolts are connected to this main plate, and then they are connected to the cable plate. Okay, so then select the cable, and then the mouse wheel, so it's done. And now if you delete uh, mm, your the small plate, which we deleted here, but the bolts not gonna delete, the bolts is still here. Okay, so this is really important while deleting the plates, and you should be really careful, make the bolt as a part of the main mother plate with the cable. So this is how we created this everything here, but now we want to do the same for the other connections. But if we want to do, it will take time. So it's better to define this connection like to the custom settings, like we will define this connection as a custom component, and then we will apply it for the other. So how we gonna do this? First of all, we have to select everything here with control button, the main plate, and this option should be on with the objects, and then your this plate to the other side, your this plate, okay, your this plate is already selected. I mean, this one, this is okay, yeah, this one, I really needed this one. And this perpendicular line is selected. Yeah, we needed this plate. Yeah, you see here, and we need this mother plate too. I selected, but it got unselected. And then we selected this one, and then we need to select the balls. Yeah, it's selected, right? Yeah, it's selected now. And we will go here, and we will select this. Yeah, it's selected now. And what else we need? Yeah, this ball is selected, right? Yeah, it's selected. Oh, I skipped the I unpressed the control button, so everything got unselected. Let's do again. I'm sorry for that. Control button, main plate, your secondary plate, and to the other side this plate, and then you come here, and you select this plate, which is important for us, and then this plate, and then your balls, both of them. Here if you select one, so it's automatically selected the other one because they're the same. And then we will go and select our weldings here because we need to define this two here and this one. And then to the other side we're going to select this one and this one and one welding here. You have to select everything, okay, and this one, and yeah, this is everything we selected. And now we have to select the cuttings and the fittings here, you see, which is always perpendicular, the fitting the cuttings of the cable. We selected this one and we come down and we selected our fittings for our this other one, which is perpendicular to this one. I selected this one, okay. And you know, there is like some gaps, which is also the elements, you see, like you see this white one is the gaps. This is also the element, we need to select this, okay. And the same it will be here also. You have to check so carefully. You see here, this one, select this one. So everything we will select, and it's selected everything, there is nothing else, okay. And then we will go to the customs, okay, and we will go here, and then we see define custom component. We'll click on this, and then it will like we'll give a name here, beam, no, B mean beam, B mean the other B mean bracing, B bracing connection. Okay, so we did this is the name, which should be with the number of how much number, like we'll give it a number, okay, let's give it 007. Haha. And then next, and in the model select the objects. We already selected everything, so says next. And yeah, it will ask you the main part, which is the main part, okay. We select the column, this is the main part, and then we'll go to the next, and then which is the secondary part, okay, like which is the secondary part. This is the beam, we selected this, and then we will just finish. So this is how we created our custom component, and we will apply the same here, okay. So just select 007 with the number here, or with the BB bracing connection here, it will be here, okay. So what we selected, the main part is a column, so you know it's here already, you know, main part. So our main part was column. Then what was our second part? The beam. Select this, and you see here we connected our connection. But another point, our cable is not here. If you remember, we moved the cable here by minus 100, not 100, I think it was 200 millimeter. So we will move our cable here, okay. That's to put it in its correct position. So select your cable, move linear, and with a distance of minus 200, and move, and you see now it's in the correct position. And one more thing, let me control R, and it should be here, our center of rotation. And this in the not exactly in the center, because you know when we fix our cable in the center of this, you see it's coming out here, and that's not the correct position. So we will move this also. It was by distance minus 10, but in that direction, but we will move to the other direction. This should be always in the opposite way, okay. So move plus, and now you see there is no green here, nothing here, it's exactly in the center. So this is what we did. And yeah, so we can create our, and now we can do the same bracing to the other side, and then you can create your and apply the same custom component to the other side. And this is how we can create our custom component and connection, and apply to the every section. So if you like the video, please subscribe, like my video, and if you have any question, you can ask anytime in the comment section. See you in the next tutorial. Bye bye, have a nice time.